right, let's connect it up, guys. Man, March 8th coming at you, 2020. Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 11 aired on Friday for AMC Premiere members. It'll be back on tonight. I'm excited for it, guys, so let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Top chat, super chat, all that stuff. Let me know what's going on. Don't know. Top chat, super chat, all that stuff. Let me know what's going on. There we go. Play with it a little bit. Let me know if the volume's okay on there. I think we're good, but always let me know. Okay, guys, so spoiler warning, obviously, for the Walking Dead show, comics, all that stuff. Going to answer some questions, all that stuff, so I don't know what people are going to ask. Last half hour, we'll go for an hour, is going to be talk about the episode, recap it, discuss it a little bit too. So let's keep it spoiler-free for the first half hour, and then we'll talk about spoilers. But overall, guys, I'm super excited because we're like in Walking Dead season, right? It's a busy time of the year. It's the greatest time of the year. And I was talking with my wife after we watched the episode, and, Walking Dead is, going in full force right now. Season 10, Episode 11 airs tonight. We get 16 episodes, and then we will have Walking Dead World Beyond, then Fear the Walking Dead, and then Walking Dead again. Crazy stuff. This is really the year of The Walking Dead. 2020 is Walking Dead. I would love to have this be the norm for The Walking Dead. If it's this year, 2021, and then where it goes from there, nobody knows. But yes, I watched the episode. I did my review already, and I'm going to work on my trailer breakdown for season 10, episode 12. And man, The Walking Dead is, I don't know if I want to say back because season 9 really brought it back, but it's really good again. And it's really one of those things that draws you in. And I love talking about it. But again, no spoilers the first half hour, guys, because I know not everybody wants the spoilers, and I don't want to ruin stuff for people who don't, even though it's getting harder and harder for people to not see spoilers because they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube. They're everywhere now. It's just crazy, right? The episode comes out Friday night, 9 o'clock, and then people are like, my review, boom, they posted Saturday morning. And if they post something in the thumbnail or they post something that it's like, man, it can ruin this stuff for a lot of people. And I don't want to do that. I've been doing this for, over 5 years now, and I've learned the hard way. I've learned some things I've learned from it. And that's the whole thing about life is never stop learning, whether you're 7 or 97. It doesn't matter. You can always learn something. You learn something new every day. And we learned something in the episode for sure. It's interesting. A lot of stuff happens, and it's fictional. But when stuff, it's funny because we talk about a zombie apocalypse show. So it's fiction. It's not something that happened, right? So it's something that is something we like to talk about in a way that draws us in, but the continuity of things, should stuff matter from before? Should stuff connect? Of course, there should be Easter eggs, callbacks, connections. There should be continuity of stuff. If they did it before and it happens again, it should be the same result or something similar to it in a way that, we saw before. Now, we're talking about fictional things, and, last week's episode with the Daryl Alpha fight, it was awesome. Then we saw the Rosita Beta fight, which was pretty good. And then we saw, different things. What they do in movies and shows and horror stuff is like, okay, the bad guy, which was Beta, gets into Alexandria. He gets shot through the door, which was pretty awesome by Judith, by the way. And then, boom, goes down. And Gamma's like, or Mary, I guess we're calling her Mary now. She's not Gamma anymore. But Mary is like, all right, go. So then RJ and Judith run away. And then Mary tries to run away, and then boom, Beta grabs her leg and she falls down. When you should have took the gun and shot at him, double tap, Zombieland, that's one of the rules. Come on, what are you doing? I guess you didn't see that movie. But ultimately, could have took a knife, could have stabbed towards him, and then maybe he moved or, it could have been done in a different way because they weren't going to kill Beta that way for sure. They were going to keep, the villains on the show are always super powered. They always do things like they have the governor get out of sticky situations where certain people would die in that situation. He has one eye and he still can shoot with great accuracy. He does, it's just so crazy over the top with it. Alpha gets, pretty wounded on the shoulder. I would say that her shoulder was pretty badly stabbed by the tree branch that Daryl really brought into her shoulder and then twisted it on her. So that wound would be pretty bad. Plus, he probably cut her, punched her and stuff. She would be tore up pretty bad. They don't have hospitals. They don't have antibiotics. They don't have stuff on there. And then Daryl had a knife stuck in his leg. Will it hit the artery or not? But there's going to be muscle damage. It's going to be pretty bad for his quadricep. Maybe he cut the quad tendon. Maybe he cut the rectus femoris muscle belly pretty good. He wouldn't be able to really walk very well. His hip flexion and knee extension would be pretty limited, and that's how you have to walk pretty effectively. Now, in the episode, he's walking around with a limp, this week's episode. You're like, But ultimately, that's The Walking Dead being a medical professional. I can't help myself to be like, certain things for what it is. But again, it's fiction. And I know some people agree with me to be like, I don't call it nitpicking. I guess to call it criticizing. I just call it in a way that I'm like, okay, what's really going on with it? And how does it really work for, continuity of things and just, would it make sense in real life, even though it's a zombie apocalypse story? It's pretty interesting. But overall, I feel like the back half of season 10 has been good. Season 10, episode 9 was good. 10-10 was good. 10-11 was really good. But that being said, some things are kind of crazy for sure. It's one of those things where it's just one of those things where like, man, The Walking Dead is taking it in a way, in a direction that I like it. I like where it's going, and we'll see what happens. And if we could have the connecting point with the movies, with the Fear of the Walking Dead, with World Beyond, with everything, I like that universe coming together in one way. It doesn't have to happen where we all have all this stuff and everything's got to connect and everyone's got to be connected, where the chopper picked up Rick and now Jadis is there and Jadis comes back and picks up Michonne and Michonne goes there and then the chopper comes back and picks up Daryl and Daryl goes there. It doesn't have to be that way. It's just one of those things where it has to be, some sort of connecting with the big universe. And I hope that Fear the Walking Dead is much better for season 6, and that's filming underway. There's some news about that, but I'll talk about that over the summer. And World Beyond sounds pretty good, and I'm interested to talk about it. I've done my World Beyond trailer breakdown about 2 weeks ago now, and I haven't had a good time to post it. I'll probably post it this week, maybe on the 12th, because that'll be 1 month until it airs. So then we'll talk about it on there too. So we'll see. Probably sometime this week I'll have my trailer breakdown. But if you saw some of our latest videos, we talked about the cliffhanger possibly for the finale. Angela Kang said there's a cliffhanger. And if you think about it, if you went back and really watched all the different finales of the seasons, there's usually a cliffhanger. Whether it's a small one or a big one, what's going to happen with the Negan lineup, what's going to happen at Terminus, what's going to happen after, Ezekiel and everybody saved the day at Alexandria. There's smaller cliffhangers, bigger cliffhangers, but it usually ends in a way to set up the next season. And that's what got to do. As a writer myself, I think of it, how am I going to end this chapter to the next chapter? And is it going to pick up from that or not? Are we going to go in a different direction? Is it going to be a different community, a different area? Where is it going to be the next episode? What's going to happen with season, 12 or 13, whatever we get to, what's going to happen down the road? But you have to kind of remember that things should connect in the same episode to previous stuff and also set the tone for future episodes. But if that's good writing or not. And I think this episode, Season 10, Episode 11, did a good job with making some callbacks and connections and Easter eggs, but also setting some things up for the future of the show for the back half of Season 10 and, potentially beyond. Because people hate bottle episodes. And what people say is the bottle episodes basically don't progress the story. It's the biggest one that jumps out at me is the Oceanside episode where Tara and Heath were in the RV camper. They went on the bridge. They got on, jumped, got pushed over. Tara floated away, washed up in Oceanside, and didn't really progress the story on there too. So it's interesting because I want to know what is, people like. Do people like bottle episodes or not? I mean, people just use like good content because if the episode's good or not. But I usually like the progression of the story one way or another, even if it's a small way, because I like the idea of the story being told. However, it doesn't have to, have all these Easter eggs and callbacks and connections to be good. Just have to buy into it as well. So season 10, episode 9 and 10 were really good. I think season 10, episode 11 is I don't know if I'd say better or the best or the greatest, or, it's really good. It's different than the first 2 episodes for sure. And they've been pretty different so far. We had the cave stuff in season 10, episode 9, which I'm really glad was 1 episode. Season 10, episode 10 had the horror aspect, Beta inside Alexandria, Whisper stuff. It kind of did something really good. Now this one was like, in season 10, episode 11, I'll say it's predominantly at Hilltop. You don't see Alexandria at all. You see the Whispers, a little bit at the camp and whatever they're doing. But so the first episode was the cave and the Whispers. The next episode was Alexandria and the Whispers. Season 10, episode 11 is Hilltop and the Whispers. It's like where they're going with it has been pretty good, and it's been pretty different. So I like the way it goes for what it is. So let me see what you got. Rick's hat, whatever, buddy. I don't know what the deal is, but isn't the PT channel a spoiler channel anyway? No, I am not a spoiler channel. I am a Walking Dead community channel, a Walking Dead channel who talks about spoilers and reviews and theories and discussions and everything. So I know we're going to be we're going to simplify things and say, oh, well, he's just a spoiler channel. No, I'm a Walking Dead channel that loves to talk about a bunch of different things, that talks about spoilers and shares some awesome, amazing information with you guys. That's what it is. So, I take that to heart, because when people label you as one certain thing and you're much more than that, it's like you don't know what you're talking about. That's basically what it goes down to. So, but ultimately, we love talking about The Walking Dead, and we're a Walking Dead community channel here. And I feel you guys on the time change, because I was doing some stuff around the house, and next thing I knew, it was like 12:30. I was like, oh crap, I got to get going here. I got to get moving. I'm trying to do stuff around the house and, stuff around the windows and whatever. But I'm like, man, oh crap, my time is getting crazy here, right? So, but good stuff, guys, hopefully. And this week's going to be rough. We lose an hour. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to really get the time change. And I just hope one day that they get rid of the time change. It just stays the same time, what it is, because it's really annoying to, lose an hour of sleep, to be tired for weeks and never let your body change on it. And, it's a good thing that The Walking Dead comes on sooner. And tonight we have The Walking Dead season 10, episode 11, which I believe is titled Morning Star. And then we have Talking Dead right after it, which is great, because before it was like a show. It was The Walking Dead and then a show and then The Talking Dead on there too. So let me answer this. Bandalvage, whatever your name is. Any news related to The Walking Dead movie? Hopefully you'll check out my latest video. So leave the chat. Go check out my video that talks about The Walking Dead movie, potentially 2021 is Rick's picture on it. Go check it out. There's a good thing about that. But there's been some news potentially. We don't know if a source is reliable or not, that the movie is going to come out in 2021. We're going to see that the movie is 60% written. The Rick, it's just, we don't know what it is. It's been minimal to no information. There was Scott Gimple did information about it in an interview. He said they didn't have a director yet. They're hoping to get it along. Don't know why it's taking too long. It's one of those things where you're like, what is going on with it? So I don't know why the Walking Dead movie is taking so long. Probably because they have so many other things going on. The Walking Dead, Walking Dead World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead. That's 3 major productions of at least 10 episodes per, show. That's a lot of stuff. Plus, not sure if they had a director and then it backed out, or they couldn't find the right director or what. I don't know why they're just not using someone from the Walking Dead show to be director of it. We've had some great directors on the show series. Why don't you just get someone there? Probably because it's going to be more time consuming to do both. I don't know how they're trying to do both. So the word is that the early word is that they're trying to film sometime later this year, and it'll be out in 2021. So not sure. So that's the answer to your question, Bandalavage, or whatever your name is. So that's the news that I have. Check out the other videos for more to it. Please stop spamming the chat and asking the same question over and 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 over again, please. But ultimately, guys, The Walking Dead show is one of those things where I think they do a great job with it. Not sure if they do, because they're limited with budget, CGI, with, they're making 16 episodes a season, and every episode is different and interactive and crazy and communities and this and, progresses the story. And there's a lot of good things to it. It's pretty interesting to, see how far the show's come. And it's crazy that we're in season 10, going to have season 11 later this year. Rule Ghost, do you think the Commonwealth will CRM know about each other? I don't know. That's a great question. I would assume so. My guess is that CRM is the global big thing of it. Commonwealth could be a branch of that on there too. But again, I'm not sure if it's going to be connected at all. And we got some good potential news about something coming up in season 10, episode 11. So stay tuned when I bring that information to you. If you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. Please do not say it for the last half hour. We will share it with you. Gary Page, Brian, do you think that Carol is in the cabin in the next episode? I'll talk about that at the end. So we'll talk about those things later on in the last half hour too. Yenzi, do you think Meegan is in the new second in command to Alpha? I think he's up there. I don't know if it's Alpha and then Negan and then Beta, but he's definitely there. I always consider him, somewhat as a consultant for Alpha, a consigliere, if you will, if you know mafia stuff. But I don't know if he's really the second in command, but he's up there for sure. So I personally think he's, around there. Maybe he's like, Beta 2 or, 2 Beta or something, so I don't know. He's Theta. I don't know, right? So I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know Greek alphabet like that too. So, but I know it's he's definitely involved with the Alpha story, and he's hopefully going to do something big very soon. Janet Q&A, Brian, do you think we'll ever find out who let Negan out of his cell? I hope so. I need to know. LOL. I hear you. It's one of those things that I could see The Walking Dead not answering that. I could see them not doing it, but I hope they do. I hope we find out that it was Carol or Daryl or Father Gabriel or Lydia, whoever it actually was. I mean, we'll find out hopefully, but on my money, if I was betting, which I'm not, but if I was, it would be on Carol or Daryl to do it. And I hope that next week's episode, season 10, episode 12, we get that answer because, we'll talk about that when spoiler stuff's coming up. But, I'm going to have my breakdown of the trailer, and we'll talk about what makes, sense for that to happen. Because if Negan is involved with Alpha's demise or death or something, it wouldn't be a shocker. And who wants Alpha dead more than anybody? Carol. So, it just makes sense that Carol did it, but we'll see. This person saw an image on Instagram. Yeah, it was from previous. I think that was from a previous episode when the same day when they were filming, but it could be for a future episode. I know what you're talking about there. Matthew, great question. Do you think Michonne and Maggie will have one more scene together? I doubt it. I do not think so. I think Michonne's episode was filmed way before Lauren Cohan even was on set for production, for viewing, for filming, for anything. So I doubt we're going to see a Maggie Michonne scene. I think the last scene we've seen them is in Alexandria outside Negan's cell. I think that's what happens too. So, Eric Finnegan, do you think the coronavirus started with the Whisperers because of their living conditions and not in China? I would assume and I would think that the coronavirus has been around for a long time because if you go check your Lysol cans, it says coronavirus. It kills the coronavirus. It kills Staphylococcus and this and a bunch of different things, but coronavirus is on there. And I bought that Lysol, some of those Lysol cans, months ago, before all this coronavirus. So I think the virus has been a thing that has been around, just like swine flu and bird flu and all this stuff. I think it's just a mutation of it, and I don't think the Whispers are connected with that at all. I think it's just something that maybe it's an evolving of, viruses too, because they're, living structures. So it's one of those things that I don't know what's going to happen with that, but hopefully we get it under control because a lot of people, let's talk about that for a second to go off kilter. They say you have to wash your hands and don't touch your face and all that stuff. Well, that's just common sense, right? Wash your hands, use hand sanitizer if you can. Be careful of touching like the number pads at the ATMs. Wash your hands after that. Pumps at gas stations, so many things that people touch. They don't get cleaned. When do those ATM buttons ever get cleaned? Probably never. When does the credit card machines at supermarkets and stuff ever get cleaned? Probably never. When does anything that people touch on a regular basis that anyone can kind of touch ever get cleaned? Probably never. So just use common sense. Keep stuff in your car normally, regardless if it's the coronavirus or whatever. Universal precautions. Wash your hands. Take care of yourself. If you're going to touch paper money, wash your hands after that stuff too. Clean your phone. Wipe your phone down with some of those wipes and stuff. Make sure you stuff in your keys, steering, whatever. It's just, it just makes you think just poor hygiene is never good. But the whispers are poor hygiene at its finest, right? So the whispers are an interesting thing. And that's one of those things where you're like, do you buy into the whispers? Do you buy into, I'm going to skin a walker, hopefully clean it, right? Put it over my head, wear it like a mask, like a Halloween mask or a hat, and then just have invisibility to whispers or walkers. Do you buy into that? Because last episode, when Alpha got stabbed in the shoulder and she's sitting there and the walker looks at her and is like, ah, and you're like, he should have attacked her. You should smell the blood. I don't care that you have a fake, person mask on your head, but it's supposed to be a walker mask on your face. You should have it boom. The blood should have, I don't know. But either way, it's one of those things where you have to buy in a little bit if you want to accept the story, but it's just one of those crazy things that it's just funny. But if you're living in the woods and if you're living in the wilderness for hours, days, weeks, months, the whispers, probably years, it's gross. What is it going to be that those people have? Maybe they have antibiotics. Maybe they have stuff, because if they were going around to communities and stuff and going places, they should have toilet paper. I don't know, but stuff like that, I would assume they're not allowed to have anything. They have knives. They have bow and arrows. They have different things, shotguns. They have weapons. So why wouldn't they, have some creature comforts? No pillows, no stuff. It's crazy. But people want to talk about this thing. I don't know. If you watch the news, they talk about the coronavirus pretty much every day, and they talk about where it is, where it isn't. It's in Florida now. It's in here. It's in so many states. It's in there. Just take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Limit. Being around big crowds and stuff for a while until this dies down. But, I don't know. Just use common sense and we'll be all right. So, yes, water bottle gaming TV. I've already watched the episode and I'll talk about it in the last half hour. Random person. I don't know. I feel like Negan won't kill Alpha, but he will kill Beta. I disagree. Yannick, do you think Negan will get back his real Lucille and what will happen with his current bat? I think eventually he'll get Lucille because I still want to know what's happening with Michonne. Michonne pointing the bat at somebody and then swinging at somebody. So if that's real, is she having her own personal lineup? Does she have Alpha standing in front or kneeling in front of her? Does she ever come back to the communities? There's just so many questions. So the Michonne episode was supposed to be rumored season 10, episode 12. So tonight's episode is season 10, episode 11. So next week was supposed to be the Michonne episode, if that was true. They flipped it supposedly to season 10, episode 13. So we gotta wait another week, or 2 weeks now for that episode. I got a lot of questions. I want to know what happens. And, I just hope that Michonne lives and goes somewhere to go after Rick and potentially go find Rick. Maybe she gets captured. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she gets killed. Maybe they do something like that. But I don't know. The biggest thing is that wait. We didn't find out in season 10, episode 9, season 10, episode 10, season 10, episode 11, not season 10, episode 12. Man, it's coming up. When are we going to find out about this Michonne stuff? But that's good. Something to look forward to. Something to look forward to where we can go and see how it's going to be. Because The Walking Dead is something that people like for different reasons. Some people like Rick. Some people didn't. Some people like Meegan. Some people hate him. Some people like Michonne. Some people don't. Some people love Judith. Some people don't. Some people love Daryl. Some people don't. It's just crazy why some people hate on people for liking certain things, so they just dislike what people like. I don't know what the point of that is, but people do. I like the idea is people liking it for different reasons. Some people like Carol, some people don't. Some people aren't liking Carol right now, and I can, understand, because sometimes the characters make bad decisions on the show, Daryl included, Rick included. Some people just do dumb things. It's just, I'm not understanding why some people just hate people, whatever they do. Daryl made some dumb decisions, but he's a good character overall. He's done a lot of great things for the show. And really, Daryl and Carol are the Walking Dead right now. They do so much for the show. They do so many great things, so many big storylines, so many big things coming towards the show with their characters. And I love it. And I'm one of those people that love the characters, love what they do, and to see where it's going. I just hope they give Carol, some redemption and she does something big, because it's definitely something that The Walking Dead, if anyone has watched Game of Thrones, that is some great writing for majority of it. But a lot of times there's certain characters that you started off hating, you turn out to like, and then turn out to love. And that's, to me, is great writing. Now, I've never seen it where a character is like, you love that character and then you hate that character. It's kind of like you love the character and you just love that character, like Daenerys, Jon Snow, certain people like that. Same thing with Daryl. Some people just love the character no matter what. Even though you can debate and you can say one side or another, if he didn't punch Negan, Glenn is most likely still alive, at least was after that, right? You could say, the writers did it. They did. Well, obviously the writers did it. They pick and choose whatever they want to do. But Daryl, being Daryl, tried to step up and do something, and it got someone else killed. Rosita tried to do something, got someone else killed, got someone taken, got something like that too. When people try to do stuff, Carol tried to do something, people get hurt. So it's only kind of happening down the road with different characters on there, So I know it's okay as long as we get stuff answered. A lot of people want to know about Heath, if he's ever coming back. A lot of people want to know with the PPP card, if that's ever meaning anything. To me, I guess it was answered with the Pike lineup. So I don't know. Some people want to know what A and B stands for. Some people want to know about this. A lot of people got questions. There are some plot holes. There are some things too. But, there's kind of a plot hole in season 10, episode 11. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. We'll start talking about there. So let me get a little more questions answered on there too as well. And then the last half hour, we'll do some spoilers and we'll talk about some good stuff going around. So I like doing half and half. Well, it's not spoilers and then it is spoilers on there too, because not everybody wants all the spoilers. But we'll do a lot of stuff as that. Hopefully you guys are checking out the Fight For Us book series. It's doing well. A lot of people like it. A lot of people are really enjoying the latest book, and I've really enjoyed the series as a whole. I think I do a good job with connecting stuff and writing it so you can, imagine it and be there too. And, a lot of people told me some great stuff, and I'm glad. And that's why I do the writing. That's why I do it too, because one, it's, cathartic for me to, it's just something that I like to get out. And it's fictional, and it's a good way to express, a way of art and just the way you get there too in a zombie apocalypse genre. And just that's why I think people love The Walking Dead, because they can escape reality in that world. And hopefully people can do that in the book series too. And you feel for the characters, you like characters, you love characters, you hate certain characters. And, it's just one of those things where I like the idea of it. And, hopefully you can get into it and be in that escape too as well. So, Dark Side 1973. I've seen the promo for season 10, episode 12. I'm going to break it down. Well, after I do this live stream, I'm going to do some laundry and do some stuff around the house. And then I'll do that review, or I'll do that trailer breakdown. I may post it later tonight, if not Monday morning, because, I like to have a video every day. So I'll have my live stream tonight. I'll do my review. I'll post that later tonight too. I'm going to watch Talking Dead tonight. It is Greg Nicotero and Norman Reedus on tonight. I don't know if there's a surprise guest or anything, but I know that it's Greg Nicotero and Norman Reedus on Talking Dead, which is right after The Walking Dead, finally, right? Because I hate it when they have The Walking Dead episode and then some other episode of a TV show that I'm never going to watch. I don't care about watching, I don't even know what it's called, but I'm not going to watch it. And then, boom, Talking Dead is on so late. And I'm on the East Coast of the United States. So Walking Dead is from 9 o'clock to a little after 10 o'clock. If there's another episode that's an hour, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And then if Talking Dead doesn't go on until after 11 o'clock, man, it's just crazy. It's one of those things too. So, Ian Allen, I don't even know what your question is. Been a subscriber. Good. Appreciate it. So where's your comments on there too? So let me see. Cause sorry, I'm just going off and talking on here. So don't know what it is. So you asked, where's the red eye virus gone? Don't know what you're talking about. That's a great question. Don't know what you're talking about. Red eye virus. Don't know. This isn't Resident Evil, so I don't know what you're talking about here. So, but, I don't know if you, for that, but, don't know your questions. And I got a lot of people on there too. So, yep. So you're posting a lot of other comments and you're posting stuff. So, I don't know, but people cry about every little thing. So that's what people do. I don't know. But Rob K wrote before, anyone see the two people fighting over toilet paper in the grocery store on YouTube? Yeah, I saw that stuff. I saw that everyone's going to Costco. I saw everybody's doing everything there, getting toilet paper and what else are they getting? Paper towels or something? I don't know. But it's like, what happened to just getting the soap? And people are just freaking out, really on the west coast of Florida, mostly in California, Oregon, Seattle in there too. And man, they're just getting all this stuff at Costco. The lines are ridiculous. They were ridiculous. I've seen on there. It's crazy stuff as well. So, all right, guys, spoiler warning. We'll go a half hour because sorry that person was complaining about stuff. So, but all right, people do that. Let's talk about spoilers. So season 10, episode 11, Morningstar. It's a good episode. Nobody dies besides someone from Alexandria. Someone from Hilltop gets set on fire. We don't know who it is because they're on fire after the fireball happens and everything. Well, but Beta, the opening minutes are Beta, chopping into the tree, getting tree sap out of a tree, filling up these little ball things that they end up flinging at Hilltop, and it's tree sap, and I guess that's actually flammable. Learn something new every day. So be careful. Be careful with the Christmas trees evidently, the pine trees, right? So they come flying into our group who's battling zombies and walkers, and they're by the things. But the tactics of our group is pretty bad. They basically put up wires and poles, and Eugene sets up an electrified wire. It's one single wire that goes and goes and goes and goes and connects the circuit, and it's electrified. So a walker goes and it's like, and again, it chops his head and it cuts through his neck, and it's pretty awesome. But the height is different for different walkers. Some walkers are tall, some walkers are small, some walkers are, on there. So some of the wires coming into the shoulders. So all the walkers pushing onto the thing overdoes it. And that's towards the end of the episode. But it just got me thinking there for that. But they didn't dig a trench or a ditch or a moat or anything. And you're like, build a thing so walkers can't get anywhere close to you. Go medieval on them. What are you doing, right? So you see Negan and you see Alpha. And Alpha hands Negan the branch and he smacks her in the forearm and whips her with that. The same thing Beta was doing. But it's Negan now, not Beta, which is very interesting. So it's pretty crazy that he's whipping Alpha a couple times. And then, boom, Alpha takes the thing and whips Negan. Negan has his witty comebacks and is like, oh, is this some kinky stuff? Or now we're bonded for life on there too. So they have their bonding moment. We see Hilltop and the Whispers. No Alexandria. We don't see Connie or Magna, even though they're mentioned by Yumiko and Kelly and they're trying to go out there and do it. But by the time Luke and everybody's trying to go out, Daryl and Lydia are on Daryl's motorcycle. I don't know where he got the motorcycle from, but either way, they ride the motorcycle back into Hilltop, says, you can't go out there, my mom's coming. Well, you kind of could. You don't have to be. It's not like they own all of the space and they're all coming there. Someone, they could have, but they don't. They don't go search for Connie and Magna. But The other people come from Alexandria. The Daryl's, Judith's group that has Rosita, Gracie, Aaron. They're all there from Alexandria. They come back and they have some moments where they're talking about, what they're going to do, and Daryl knows that they came and that they're coming. That Alpha's group is coming towards them, and they don't know how they're going to go to Hilltop. They're going to go to Alexandria first, or what they're going to do. And Hilltop's in the way, so they're going to have to do that. And Earl's like, we got to fight. We got to do this. This is what we're building up, And Earl's kind of getting everyone together. This is what they trained for. They have weapons. Get everything together. Also, remember Mary, who was Gamma Mary. Mary got off of the cart, and Earl and Alden, who have formed a big friendship, they say, who's that? Is that one of them on there too? And they automatically hate Mary because she's a whisperer. Enid died because of the whispers, and Alden's going to blame her for that, even though Mary had nothing to do with that. And Adam, who is Earl's son now, it's pretty crazy because Earl is taking care of Adam, and he calls Adam his son. But Gamma, Mary is the aunt of Adam. So they're actually blood related, but they don't care. They don't care about that at all. Everything they're trying to do is to protect the kids, protect Hilltop, and build for the future. And there's a nice, not nice, but a very impactful conversation with Alden and Mary. Mary goes in the house and tries to see Adam. And Alden's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm trying to see my nephew. The whispers are coming and do all that. And there's this whole thing. Alden comes in and steps in on there too. And, you feel for both sides. You feel for Alden. You feel for Mary. And it's just one of those things. Definitely you gotta look, make sure you don't miss it. RJ is wearing the sheriff hat and Daryl's vest. It's a cute little moment. They put him on the little wagon because they were going to take him out of there. They were trying to so the Whisperers walkers are coming to Hilltop. Daryl is on his motorcycle, and they're taking, leading the way back to Oceanside. They're actually going to Oceanside to take the kids. Diane and, they're on the wagon, and they're going to Oceanside to take the kids away. A tree is down on the path, even though, Daryl is like, Negan did this. And the tree in the path reminds Daryl that Negan is on their side now, that Negan did this. And he's like, does he know that? Does he not? Does he know that Negan was sent to the Whispers? Did he let him out? I mean, that's kind of a connecting point, possibly. Also, the two guards from the kingdom and whatever, they're hanging from trees. They're walkers now because they were killed by them. And Daryl figures out that Negan is with them, and that all the paths out of there, all the roads are blocked. I don't know how he knows that, but it is, and that's they go back to Hilltop. Before that, Ezekiel finds Carol at Daryl's old campground where the tent was by the water. I don't know how he knew to go there, but he did, and Carol's there. There's a nice bonding moment. Ezekiel and Carol are bonding a little bit, and Ezekiel brings Carol back to Hilltop. So everybody's at Hilltop except Father Gabriel, Coco, Scott, and I guess a couple people from Alexandria. But the bulk of the people are there. Majority of people are there. Daryl, Carol, Lydia, Yumiko, Jerry, Ezekiel. Pretty much everybody's there except Maggie. Maggie's nowhere to be found, of course, and no one from Oceanside. Oceanside's at Oceanside. So Daryl is basically being the leader. He's telling people to do this and do that, and they have some catapults. They're kind of on the top thing of there. They built some catapults. You don't see them being used in the battle at all. The battle is kind of quick, too. It's not really, it's kind of the smallest part of the episode. But we see Judith and Daryl have a nice moment. Judith, and Daryl talk about, having, being scared. You shouldn't be scared. And he's like, well, I would be scared for RJ, and I would be scared for this. So Judith is scared, but she's saying it in a way that she's scared for other people, even though she's, trying to be tough. And it was pretty interesting. But Daryl talks to Ezekiel and says, if it breaks down, we got to get the kids out of here. Even if you can't find me, get the kids out of here. And they'll do the same thing, right? So, no. Diana, no, Mary and Lydia are not sisters. Mary is the sister of the girl that she killed in season 9. The baby that was left outside Hilltop was the sister of Mary. So Mary is the aunt of Adam that was in season 9 there too. Lydia and Mary are not sisters. The only connection that Lydia has is to Alpha. Alpha is Alpha's mom. Alpha is Lydia's mom. So, but no. But ultimately, the idea that Daryl is running Hilltop, trying to get stuff together. He's limping around. You can see that his leg is not right, but it's not nearly bad enough what it should be. Carol knocks on Ezekiel's door at Hilltop, and before that, Ezekiel opens up a chest, and it has Henry's kingdom armor that he ends up giving to Lydia for the battle. Carol finds out that, goes into Ezekiel's room. Ezekiel has like the cover on his throat. Carol sees it. He says he was going to tell you. So Carol knows that Ezekiel potentially has cancer. It's a nice little moment. They, I guess they're worried about dying in the battle, so they get it on one last time. And Ezekiel's laying there in the bed with the sheet over his waist and his legs, and it's pretty funny. And he's like, "Oh man, it's pretty funny." And Carol's like, "Yeah, we never had a problem in that department." And Ezekiel makes a funny line like, "Oh, that's what I'll be remembered for." And Carol doesn't laugh or give anything, and it's a kind of fun moment. And there's nice little fun, emotional moments throughout the episode. Daryl and Carol. Daryl and Judith, Ezekiel and Carol, and Eugene and Stephanie, and Eugene and Rosita have some nice moments. So Eugene is on the radio, and he's talking sorry, I jumped around a lot. That's not how the episode goes. It jumps around like that too. So it starts with like the whispers and the Negan stuff with Alpha, and then it starts with Eugene after that too. So sorry, I'm just going off key with that too. So. But Eugene is talking with Stephanie over the radio. We never got her name as Stephanie, but we find out that he's talking to the woman on the radio, that we find out her name is Stephanie by what Eugene says. But Eugene is talking to her on the radio, and he's looking for a song to play for her about things, and he's talking about that he saw things out of the sky, and he's talking about asteroids or different things, or sorry, shooting stars, not asteroids, shooting stars, and then satellites and stuff that are falling out of the sky. And Stephanie says, "Oh, I saw one the other day." So Eugene says, "We got to be pretty close to each other if you saw it and I saw it around there too, right?" So that. It's pretty interesting. It's a nice little moment. And you can see that Eugene and Stephanie are good for each other. They have the same personality. They have the same comedy. They just get along very well. And that Eugene says, I don't know if we're going to talk, and I don't know this, and we're going to meet each other. And, Stephanie is cautious because she doesn't want to give anything away, because the people, which turns out is we don't know yet. But if you know the Commonwealth, you know that the Commonwealth is the connecting point through Stephanie and Eugene. So that's what makes most sense. So we find out that Eugene and Stephanie are going to talk, but don't tell anybody. But Stephanie calls on the radio for Eugene, and Eugene's not there. He's upstairs or in the attic or doing something, or on the roof or something. Rosita comes up and hears Stephanie, Taterbug, this is Blue Weasel on there too, Taterbug, I got a question about this. And then Rosita comes on the radio and says, "Who is this? Hello, who is this?" And then Eugene comes down and says, whoa, no, get out of here. No, sorry, no, get out of here. And he was told not to tell his people at all. But Rosita came up by chance when they were talking. And, it's kind of funny because Eugene, his main thing is coming up and stopping Rosita from talking with Stephanie. And he says, Stephanie, are you there, Stephanie? So we don't hear Stephanie say her name is Stephanie, but we hear that Eugene calls her Stephanie. So they found out that her name is Stephanie. So it's just like in the comic. But Rosita was like, "Oh, talking to someone from Oceanside," she says. She doesn't know who Stephanie is. And Eugene doesn't say anything. And he's like mad and pissed and everything. And he's like, yeah, you look terrible. Get out of here. I'm going to say something I regret. Get out of here. And Rosita's like, "What's your problem? What's wrong with you?" And then it ends in a weird way. And Rosita goes down. And later on that Rosita comes to go find Eugene. And Eugene is working on this battery setup with the truck that set things up with the electric wire that I told before. Rosita comes over and checks on Eugene. And Eugene is setting it all up. And he's got the wire set up and he's working on it too. Rosita says he talked to Father Gabriel, or she talked to Father Gabriel and said this. And, Eugene's like, did you tell him about the horde? And he didn't want him to worry. And so this and that. And Rosita finds out that Eugene really likes the girl Stephanie on the radio. And it's awkward because we want to know if the kiss was real, if it was a dream, if it was actually going to happen from the trailer, because you see Eugene and Rosita close face to face. But it seems awkward. It seems like rushed. It seems out of place. It just doesn't seem right, right? So we're sitting there and Rosita's like, you want to kiss me? And we know that Eugene does, or at least did, because Rosita's hot. And Eugene's been around Rosita for a while. So why wouldn't you want to have you have a crush on her and you like her and everything on it too, right? And before talking to Stephanie, of course he wanted to kiss her. But, he cared about her and he does care about her. But now that he's been talking with Stephanie, he actually really likes Stephanie. So it's done to show you that Eugene really likes Stephanie. He likes Rosita, but in a best friend kind of way, right? So Rosita is waiting there and Eugene comes close to face. And then he's like, it's peculiar to want to kiss someone you never met before, right? Isn't it? And then he's like, oh, you like her. It's good. And then Rosita gives him kind of a pep talk like, get off your butt and go get her. And then Eugene kisses Rosita on the cheek. And it's like a nice friend kind of kiss on the cheek. And then he goes back up to the radio. And Stephanie doesn't want to talk to him because Rosita was on there. So he goes back up, and before he couldn't find the song that he wanted to play for her, which is an Iron Maiden song. And Stephanie said, well, sing it. Sing it then. If you don't know it, sing it to me. And he didn't want to sing. He's like, I need the song to play. I need the instruments to help me out. But he's like, all right. He goes up there and he starts singing the song. And there's a montage of everybody getting ready for battle. And you see Jerry and his kids. You see Diane. You see, Yumiko. You see, Mary and Aaron. You see all the people getting ready. And I have to say, if Josh McDermott actually sang the song, it was pretty good. He sang pretty well. And then he finishes his part. There's a couple seconds of silence. And then Stephanie comes on and finishes the rest of the song, or continues the verse of the song. And she could really sing too, whoever the actress is that was singing that. It was really good. And Eugene's like, oh man, you got some good chops, singing chops, that is. And it was kind of cute because you see that they kind of like each other and everything there too. And Eugene's like, look, I don't know if it's then or before, he says he's in Virginia. And so that Stephanie knows that he's in Virginia. And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to talk to you again or not, but I like the idea, of us meeting. And, Stephanie asks about Rosita, who was the girl. And he's like, and you can see Eugene has a fondness for her. Eugene really cares for Rosita. They're friends and they care about each other. And he's like, yeah, I like, that's my best friend, my BFF. And he's like really smiling. And you can tell when someone's like really smiling and like it, you can feel it over the phone. And Stephanie actually says that too. She's like, I can feel you're smiling. I can see it. You can see you really care for her. And he's like, I might be too forward, but I really hope you get to meet her. So is that meaning that Rosita is going to survive and actually meet Stephanie? Because that's pretty cool. That's pretty different. But does that mean Father Gabriel is going to die? Because I think one of the two have to die. Father Gabriel or Rosita, one of the two might not make it, right? So we'll see what happens there. I don't know. I'm just asking about that part. And the big thing is that Stephanie just blurts out, I'm in whatever city in West Virginia. She's in West Virginia. Meet me in 1 week at the railway park. And she's in West Virginia, not Ohio. In the comics, Stephanie is in Ohio, in the Commonwealth. So unless Stephanie is with a different group, we're having the Commonwealth in West Virginia and not Ohio. Maybe there's two different Commonwealths. Maybe they're mixing it up. Maybe it's totally different, right? So the Commonwealth, well, at least Stephanie's connection is in West Virginia, not Ohio. Rosita comes up the steps and says, we got to go. And we got to get ready for battle. And Eugene turns around, and it's pretty funny. He's like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this. I got a date. And he's got a date. He does. In 1 week, he's got to go meet Stephanie. So does he meet Princess first, or does he meet Stephanie? We don't know, But I think he meets Stephanie and the princess around the same time, too. So, Rams asked the question, does the Hilltop battle remind you of the Game of Thrones battle with the White Walkers? It kind of reminds me of the battle for Winterfell in season 8. That's the yeah. And it definitely has a feel for it too, because it's dark and it's this and it's kind of there. And they keep coming at him. I definitely see that feel as well. But let me see. I'm trying to make sure I hit everything. Daryl is standing by the graves at Hilltop. Carol comes out behind him and says, "Please don't hate me." And Carol turns around and says, "I can never hate you." And then he walks away, and Carol gets upset and stands there too. It's kind of like that thing where your parents aren't mad, they're disappointed. They still love you and they still care about you, but they don't like what you've done. It's kind of the same way. Daryl knows, like, I can never hate you, but stop making stupid decisions. But he doesn't say any of that, but he's like, I can never hate you is what he says. So then it's nighttime. And before that, the rats come out of the woods. They're like running away from all the walkers. There's like a bunch of rats, and it's Yumiko and Kelly, and they're trying to fortify the spiky pole things. And and Yumiko comes over to Kelly and is like, sorry for what I said about, Magna and everything. Connie, I feel bad. And, it's a nice little moment again. So the rats are coming and they're like, oh, the horde's coming. They run back up, and then it's nighttime. And you see everybody in formation. Daryl, comes and grabs his, Morning Star flail thing. He kind of limps towards the front, and he walks through the gate, comes to everybody that's in formation, and it's Aaron telling people what to do. They break up the formation. They go out to the sides because the walkers are coming towards Hilltop, and there's the poles with the electrified wire running across it. And I told you before, it fails. It gets knocked down. They kill some walkers, but more walkers come. Then there's like some space, and then there's kind of a weaved kind of pole wall kind of thing, barbed wire fence kind of thing, wooden thing. There's just a bunch of stuff in the way. And so then it's like super slow-mo, like, Daryl swings his Morning Star, and it's like, boom, and it's pretty crazy, right? So it's one of those things where I'm like, man, boom, smacks him in the face, and I'm like, boom, and it's pretty cool. And then they're killing, and Jerry's got a sword, and he's got a thing, and Luke uses his weapon, and it's pretty cool. So Shauna Chan, the company Moderna has developed a corona vaccine for testing and has sent to the NIAID for review. If all goes well, they will begin trials on 40 volunteers at the end of April. So thank you, Shauna Chan, for the super chat. Good to know that we're trying to get some antivirals going on there too. But I'll come back to The Walking Dead in a second. But it's tough when it's a virus, because if it's a bacterial infection, you can have antibacterial meds or antibiotics and stuff on there for it. But viruses are tough. Like the flu, you can get a vaccine, and I guess we got to get to the ways of something through the coronavirus. People are really worried about it too. So don't know if it's big business or pharmaceutical companies or what, but it's just crazy. Mark, Q&A, Bri, when Maggie returns, do you think she will assume she will still be the leader of Hilltop? I would assume so, right? I mean, I would assume Maggie went away, but the Maggie situation is like, how could people just be like, oh, Maggie's back. Come on back, Maggie. You haven't been here for 6 years. Yeah, it's great. Come on back. We lost all these people, and you haven't been here, so come on back, Maggie. I think people should be pissed at Maggie. Unless Maggie comes back but Hilltop's going to be so tore up, it's crazy, right? So back to season 10, episode 11. So the walkers are coming, the fence fails, everyone comes in, super slow-mo. They got, the Morning Star mace, got swords and this, and, Ezekiel's killing them with his Zatiochi sword and this and all these things. And then he, like, for some reason, it's like he catches it in the air and stabs him. Like, does it need that necessary thing? It's like, I don't know. But either way, you should have swords, you should have spears, you should have all this stuff going towards all the different walkers and everything. And it's kind of cool. But the walkers are coming and coming and coming. And there's like thousands of them. It's just so many of them. Right? And you remember the picture that I shared in the trailer where Luke's like, Luke's got that weird face, and people are like, it's going to be Connie, and it's going to be Magna, and they're going to be walkers. One of them's going to be walkers. Nope. It's just the fence is breaking. The supports are breaking. The walkers can get through towards, Hilltop even since then. So he's like, it's not going to hold. It's not going to hold. That's what he's freaking out about. Not that Connie or Magna are walkers. Like, people got some crazy theories. So that's not true. So I didn't come up with that theory. I'm just sharing it with you on there too. So the walker horde's coming and coming and coming. Daryl's like, well, before that, let me back up. Beta watched to see what was happening in the woods. He walks back to the walkers, or the whisperers. Remember those tree sap balls I talked about in there too? There's a pile of them, and the whisperers are loading them in slingshots, by the way. I don't know how they made slingshots. I don't know where they got slingshots from. I don't know what is going on with that. But either way, like the water balloon things where someone's holding it on one side and so there's like a person and someone pulls it back. It's like, and it flies out of there. That's what they have. A bunch of those. A bunch of setups like that. So our group is killing the walkers that are by the barbed wire thing and all that stuff. And they get hit with tree sap, and it's like, oh, it's all this stuff. It's like it's basically water balloons, and that's probably what they used, a bunch of water balloons or something. Or in fact, because people get wet and they get soaked by the flammable tree sap, pine tar, pine sap, whatever it is, it's flammable. It's not good. So our group gets soaked by it, and Jerry's like, it smells like a Christmas tree, and he like stabs them on there too. So it's from the pine trees. And boom, everyone gets soaked, and then Alpha has a little fire, and she has her arrow, and she sticks it in it, and she looks at Negan, and Negan's like, I thought we were gonna try to save them. They were gonna make them join us, and Alpha's like, I will. They'll join us as part of my horde, and it's kind of crazy because she's like, yeah, they can be part of our group as part of the horde. They can all die and be part of the Walker horde. And Negan's like, oh, man, you're a badass. And he says, is he saying that because he's got to say something, whatever? Is he thinking that she's nuts, thinking that she's crazy? Because that's crazy. Lydia's there. She's okay with killing Lydia now. I guess she's so strong after last week's episode. But so the tree sap, pine tar, pine sap, whatever is all over the place. People are getting soaked. People like Lydia's soaked in it. She's like, her hair's all wet. It's kind of crazy. Next thing you know, flying arrows coming in. Negan even fires an arrow. I really hope he fired away from Hilltop or whatever, but they fire arrows. And they're pretty nice bows, by the way, so I don't know how they got bows, but, the whisperers are, kind of crazy. But either way, arrows come flying in, and part of it hits the border area that the tree sap was on. The person that... there's a Hilltop Kingdom or whatever person on fire. It's like, one person gets caught on fire. They had a fire budget of one person, I guess. We're going to fire. And they're like, fall back, fall back, fall back. So he goes, and Daryl's like, and they all start to run back towards the entrance of Hilltop. And then all the arrows come in. Boom, all fire on the front wall of Hilltop. Fire there. Daryl, our group, in between, and walkers are coming towards them. So it's a big mess. It's like a big mess. You got fire. I don't know how they're going to get back in, but they eventually do if you saw the trailer for season 10, episode 12. And then so you have walkers in front of them, fire behind them. It's a terrible situation. Daryl, his new vest that he has with the old wing and the blue wing, that Judith clearly said for luck when he gave it to him before he put it on. And he put it on, and he's wearing the so-called lucky vest. So is it lucky? Is it unlucky? Is the vest, not a good thing? But either way, we see it, and fire's in front of him, and then gone. You're like, oh, man. Then next week's episode, that is now, the Hilltop episode, it starts with fire. It starts with our group. It starts with Daryl. It starts with, you see a bunch of people. Like, no one died in the fire. No one died on the attack. They're trying to get away. Then we see that aftermath of the fire. And there's that part of the one trailer where you see someone walking with Lucille and like, it's Michonne, it's this. No, it's not Michonne. It's Negan. And it's the old bat, not the new bat. And he takes the bat, and you can see someone's got like kingdom pads on, or someone from Hilltop. And it looks to be like where the fire was. It's probably the next morning after our group gets away. And then I think Meegan like hits him with the baseball bat and like takes him out. So it's either the person's a walker or they're still alive as a human, and Negan just hits him with the baseball bat. Then you see different clips on there too. Negan talks with Alpha, and Negan says, and Alpha's like, I don't have everything I want. Alpha still wants something. So is it Lydia? Is it Daryl? Is it Carol? Is it something? She wants somebody because she didn't find probably everyone's still alive. Part of the trailer, you see Negan with his Whisperer skin mask on, and he turns. And the next shot is Lydia, who's like limping away. She's like injured a little bit into the woods. And then you see her has the Henry armor on still and her staff. So we're not sure if Negan captures Lydia or protects Lydia or does something, but we see that Negan says to Alpha, I found what you're looking for. So is Alpha looking for Lydia, Daryl, Carol, something? Did Negan find them? Or is Negan setting Alpha up to take her out? At the end of the trailer, Negan is walking behind Alpha as Alpha walks towards a little cabin. And we don't know who's in the cabin or if anything's in the cabin. But I think that's when Negan will take Alpha out. So that's pretty sure. So I know that something's going to happen big time there. Or I hope something big happen there. But I'm going to talk about that in my trailer breakdown in another video. But The Big Bang Theory Sheldor. Did you hear of The Last of Us HBO series? I did, and I'm excited about that because I love The Last of Us game, and the next game should be coming out very, very soon, and I'm excited for that for sure. I'm also excited about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've seen the trailer, and I've seen a bunch of people talking about that and the demo and all that. I'm like, man, that looks great, but I don't know. The Last of Us the series on HBO could be good. It could be stupid. It could be they missed the opportunity with The Walking Dead because remember, The Walking Dead went to HBO. They went to NBC. Both of them turned them down. They went to ABC or AMC. They went to HBO and NBC, and then eventually got picked up by AMC. So I don't know. But if HBO, you want to pick up my Fight for Us series, Amazon, you want to pick up the Fight for Us series for a series, I'm down. Let me know. Fight for Us could be great. It's on Amazon, so it could be on Amazon Prime. I have no problem doing all that. I think it would be an amazing TV series and an amazing TV show. My readers also agree with that. So Fight for Us. Check out the book series if you want to check it out. To help you join the fight and pick up your copy today as the proceeds come back to the channel, the PT channel, as well as the Fight for Us book series. Pretty cool stuff. So there you go, guys. That is my hour. I went a little bit over, so thank you guys for taking time to be here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you guys for that. I'm excited for the future of it. Stephanie, Eugene, Commonwealth, West Virginia, Mountain Mama. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Post your comments below. I'll be talking about my review tonight. I'll share it with you. Talking Dead tonight, Greg Nicotero, Norman Reedus, and Chris Hardwick. I'll have my trailer breakdown either later tonight, late tonight, or tomorrow, but probably tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, blocking out the haters, staying true to yourself. Enjoy tonight's episode tonight if you haven't seen it. I've already seen one episode of Ride with Norman Reedus. It's Michael Rucker and Norman Reedus on Ride. It's very good. Definitely check it out. I believe it's on AMC.com. You can watch it for free. No login necessary. And Ride with Norman Reedus is going to have a bunch of people, including Ryan Hurst, on this season. So I'm definitely going to check those out. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, take care. See ya.